Here we go. Underground News, February 25th, 2019. Picking up where we left off yesterday. I was talking about the timing of the economic meltdown pertaining to the building construction of the third temple, and just this week, going into today, we get news of the third temple. I just have some quick Google searches here. Key figure here to look at is Jared Kushner, son-in-law of Donald Trump, senior advisor to the President of the United States, which is very odd that everybody is okay with the president appointing his entire family to all these positions as if it's some type of mafia organization or a pizza place. You know, you go into a pizza place and everybody's relatives working there. But here we have Jared Kushner in the Middle East pushing his peace plan. Allegedly, there are 6 nations gathering together, deciding how to divide the area of Jerusalem, whether or not the Palestinians should have rights to visit. It's a whole cluster, you know what. Anyways, as I've yet to really dig into anything pertaining to this particular trip to the Middle East, I'm sure we'll find some information regarding what is happening in the area where the Dome of the Rock is, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Solomon's Temple, that whole area, that dogmatic area of prophecy and religious turmoil. Well, this is not just some egotistical wannabe real estate agent. Well, I mean, he made something like $2 million while he was at Harvard University from real estate, even though he graduated with basically C's. He made a few $1,000,000 as a college student. So I wouldn't say that he's a wannabe. However, connections make all the difference in a job like that. But this isn't some ego trip for Mr. Kushner over here. This is something a lot different that this man right here was talking about. Earlier this year, and he says to Trump says to Kushner, if Kushner can't achieve Middle East peace, nobody can. Now, if you're not too familiar with the prophecies, they say that there will be a certain individual who tries to enter Jerusalem and he will not be allowed to, and that person will be brandished as the Antichrist, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, and born with horns on his head and all type of ridiculous stuff. It's all self-fulfilled. It's mumbo jumbo. He'll bleed in a fight. He'll, he's not special. It's just the people are too brainwashed, too caught up in insignificant pettiness and whatever to do anything about it. So here we have some other headlines, such as from Trump's own book, The Way to the Top. His Kabbalah teacher's name, right here. That might not be the full name. And the significance of this is, it's a cabal. The word cabal comes from Kabbalah. It's a book. It's got secrets in it. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo to somebody who doesn't understand what's in it. And all the people at the top of the food chain are well versed in this type of stuff. This is stuff that you are not exposed to. You're not meant to be exposed to in your journey of birth, school, job, taxes, death. You're not meant to know any of this. And it's just recently being, well, not recently, however, there are a lot of people recently speaking about it. There was a story coming out, I'm not going to take the time to find it, of a White House official or a White House correspondent who spoke to Trump and said that Trump had converted to this branch right here. Now this branch is the fastest growing one. All the celebrities are in it. It looks like Scientology. It's a scam. There's something to it. It's not, it's whatever. And so, yeah, keep your eye on this, because as I say, the markets will collapse along with. And there's a lot of things on the horizon. The China trade deal, which if it doesn't go through, you're going to see all types of stuff. Donald Trump is constantly on his Twitter saying this when China is saying, no, that's not what happened. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all posturing for something more complex, should we say. And this, in my opinion, this will be the economic trigger. Now, one thing that the investigation is coming to a close, but they're kicking the can down the road with more bureaucratic nonsense, and I know for a fact that the investigation has found enough information to indict the president. It's a given. You can find that information in 10 minutes of looking if you know where to look. And timing is everything with these people. Timing is everything. And so it really makes me wonder that if Robert Mueller is indeed operating under his own conscience and not having strings pulled like by a puppet master. That when he does drop the bomb, or as he is about to drop the bomb, will they distract us with something else? I mean, imagine what would happen if the President of the United States is indicted under RICO laws. It would be total chaos. United States is not the world superpower anymore. Not militarily, not economically, not culturally, not nothing. I believe the only two things that the United States leads the world in is incarceration rates and firearm ownership. That's about it. China is the world superpower. And China I'm gonna have a hard time finding this. But this headline right here is true. And that's why they want to preserve China. That's why they want China to be the world's superpower for their speciation event. And they're gonna leave China, and they're gonna decimate every other country. It's why they've been building ghost cities. To move their people. Ghost cities. Massive cities. With nobody in them. What happens when all of the people in poverty in China what happens when the people of these slums get moved out of the slums and into these ghost cities? Now, these ghost cities are in China, they're in Africa. They're, I haven't heard them building any in South America or Central America yet, but they are purchasing land in massive quantities. They're purchasing land here in the United States. And when the United States housing market crashes and every single American is broke, they're going to continue to pick up massive quantities of real estate. And this is their next move. So, what happens when they take all these people in the slums of China? And this is just a horrendous condition for people to live in. This is... You couldn't imagine. They do not value human life at all. Whatsoever. What happens when these people get moved into a place like this and they're fed food? They're given food for free. And they're told to have 5 children. How quickly will, 1.2 billion documented? You could argue it's 1.5 billion people. How quickly will they fill up these cities? They're going to take over the world. And none of your leaders are going to stop them. even if they could. It's all a plan. It's all part of a plan. And this is the plan. This is how they do it. You see? They're all buddies. They're all friends. They're all laughing at us. While you think you're clever, these people are light years ahead of us. And the worst part is we support them. Even when you say you don't support them. Even when you say, when you yell at the television, like I see many people doing. Even when people post on Facebook their political allegiances and their values and their virtues. So, be on the lookout for Third Temple news involving Jared Kushner. And this headline right here is a little chilling. You know, it could just be some journalist trying to be clever, but you never know. And yes, they're working on drawing the borders of Israel. Most likely to expand the borders of Israel. Because we have right here the map of Greater Israel. And this is what it will cover. And if we can find the pipelines to show you how Putin this is behind all of the immigration of so-called Muslims moving into the European zone. This is all the reason for it, for all the wars, for all the caskets filled with American soldiers and draped with American flags. This is the reason. This is it. It has nothing to do with freedom or communism or terrorism. This is it. And I will leave with this. Hopefully we can find it. If not, it doesn't matter. They're building the Silk Road along China, up through India and Pakistan, and they're gonna move it all the way to Israel. And that's where the oil pipelines are gonna go. Pakistan even threatened to divert rivers out of India. This is serious. A water war. This is recent. India threatens to stop the flow of water to Pakistan. They will dam up a river and turn it around and wage war on women and children. Children who have, you know, it's crazy. So yeah, that's a short edition of Underground News. that's it.